Welcome in, everybody. This is episode 3 of the Blurred podcast, Final Fantasy XI podcast, where we occasionally yap up to 3 times. I'm with Shiraj and Dex, and today we're going to be talking about the new content that just came out, Limbus. I'm,
Hooray!
yeah, I'm fucking excited. I can't believe after what a 2 year, maybe more than 2 year dry spell, we're finally getting new content.
Isn't it more than two? I hate thinking of it that way. Like, fuck, it's
I
been so long.
Yeah, I think it is more than two. Probably like closer to 2.5, maybe even three. Um,
Ugh, we're
but it's
getting
been
old.
it's been a long time, bro, and I'm feeling it. So I am welcoming any new content with open arms. Have you guys done it yet? You guys gotten into Limbus and
Lots and lots.
lots and lots? How are you
Lots
like?
of grinding.
How are you liking it
Lots
so
of
far?
sleepless
First
nights.
impressions. Sleepless nights. It's been out two
Bro,
days.
bro, I've slept like 3 hours each night the last two
Oh,
nights.
Jesus Christ. It's literally been out 2 days. How are you getting lots of sleepless nights?
Well, I
It's
mean,
just,
gotta finish the content.
Yeah, I gotta
have you
finish it.
ever stayed awake for like 2 days and then you have to like do catch up sleep for like 3 days? Yeah,
Oh
it's like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
some of us have jobs.
That's true.
I mean, my job's work in the corner on Mora.
Hey.
I got really lucky because I happened to be on vacation this week.
Oh, I thought you were
And
gonna say I got really lucky. I caught him on the corner.
well, that too. How do you think me and Shaj met? So the corner of
Ah,
Mora.
now it's
We
all
go,
adding up. I'm seeing the pieces connect.
yeah, we
The
go
line,
way back, way back. Okay.
emphasis on back.
Oh Jesus, emphasis on back shots. All right. Anyway, moving on. Moving on.
Crazy.
Let's go ahead and start looking at the patch notes. So the patch notes came out uh, the night of the update, which was Monday night. It is currently Thursday morning, so it's been out for about 2.5 days.
Mhm.
Um, and the first thing that we see in the patch notes is a synergy furnace. And
Exciting.
yeah, I know a lot of people were like dreading the idea of having to do synergy in
I know in
Limbus.
their interview, he was like, "It's not actually synergy," so
Mhm.
that might have been overlooked.
Yes. So my opinion is that I think they just were tired of giving us goblins to trade stuff to, and they just decided to add in synergy furnaces as an alternative to
Whatever the
that.
reason, it's instant, so hell yeah.
Yes, yeah, the synergy furnace turned out great. You get your points, you turn the gear, and it immediately spits it back out to you. So
I couldn't
that's
have asked for more than that.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
think we're all tired of the typical FFXI format of wait the next game day, or worse, the next actual day.
Hmm. Absolutely. Have you guys turned in much artifact and relic stuff yet?
I haven't upgraded anything yet.
No, really interesting. How many
I'm kinda
points have you
hoarding
farmed?
38K and 34K.
Oh wow, so you're almost capped out for the week.
Yeah,
And then you get to do it all over again the next week. Isn't that
so
exciting?
I know you did the warrior hat, right? And then some other pieces.
Yeah, yes, I've done 3 warrior pieces. I did the relic head, artifact legs, and feet. And
You're going green, brother.
yep, we gotta
420.
we gotta conserve energy around here, folks.
Shraj, have you done anything?
Yeah, I made the Rune Fencer artifact body piece from
Oh, that
Apollyon.
that fat Mava, right?
Yeah, and I also made two red mage pieces for a relic. I got the headpiece and the feet.
That'll be really good. As a paladin main, you'll get a lot of use out of that rune fencer body. Okay. So next part
Yeah.
of the the patch notes, we have pictures of Temenos and Apollyon. Uh, we have the information about how to get into the zones. If you haven't gone into the zones yet, you need Rhapsodies cleared. You need to be past chapter 8 in Chains of Promethea, and you need to go touch 2 question marks, one for each zone. There in is it Alto? I don't know how to pronounce this, to be
I'll
honest with
tell
you.
you.
Altayu. Oh, okay. I've never looked at it hard
That's
enough
how I
to.
I mean, if I'm wrong, then shoot me.
I think the way that you're saying it sounds better than the way I've been saying it.
Let me look at it again. The spelling is
No, I think you're correct now that I'm looking at it.
fair enough.
So you got to get your black and white card to enter Apollyon and Temenos respectively.
The UVs don't count, right? Or do they?
I think they do. You can do that, but I think it's just a little bit more difficult and time
Back in the day,
consuming. Mhm,
Limbus was daily content, I believe, or every 3 days. I think it was daily.
mhm.
And each time you had to do it, you had to kill the UV over again because the card was consumed.
Yeah,
Now the card is permanent.
I've had quite a few people confused about that point, and they're like, "Oh, okay, give me, 15 minutes. I'm gonna go farm the flowers." And we're like, "No, you don't need to do that. Just touch the question mark one time, and you're good to go."
I want to remind all the listeners that you should get the home points too. There's a home point crystal at all 3 zones.
Yes, absolutely. It makes it super easy to get out there.
You'd be shocked to know I only have 2 home points.
Yeah, I actually found out that I only had home point one in C, so I had to go get the
Home
other
point one is
ones.
Holler, right? The middle.
Yeah. So it's the one right outside Temenos,
Yep.
which worked for me because Temenos was the first zone that I was
And
doing.
then another thing to note is whether you go to Dem Apollyon or to Maya Apollyon on the left or right, respectively. The question mark is kind of closer to Maya if you want to grab it for the first time for your black card. But either way, you zone in. They're 2 different lobbies, but they both bring you to the same zone. So your party can be split up. Like half your party can warp to Maya, half your party can warp to Dem. You go in, you're in different lobbies, you don't see each other, and when you select which zone you go to, you're going to see each other.
Oh, that's really cool. It's interesting that they decided to put two lobbies in there, but it's also kind
I
of
don't
nice
know why.
because they tend to get a little crowded. I know Temenos especially is really, really crowded, so Apollyon
Yeah.
having two is a nice little room for breathing.
I think people Apollyon is a little easier, spoilers, and then
Hmm.
B, um, I think more people are interested in their first upgrades being relic rather than
Yes,
artifact.
yes, I would agree with that. I think Relic in general is a little bit stronger. We'll talk about the gear here in a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
But once we go in, Temenos has 25 floors, and in order to open a chest, which is how you get a big 3 to 5,000 point bonus, you have to clear every single floor in every tower. So you have to clear 25 floors in order to get a temporary item that is called the floor data, and then you can open a chest. In that process, I think we've been averaging around 10k. It can fluctuate. I think it can be anywhere from like 7 to 12, really, depending on bonuses and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you want to go over the bonuses or
Yeah, if you want to, that'd be awesome.
well, if your first time running through or if you've run through a few times and you haven't noticed it, both zones have a little shiny question mark randomly on one of the floors on one of the sections.
Hmm.
So if there's 25 floors total in Temenos, it'll be on one of them. Keep your eye out for it. If you touch it, it seems to be that once a week you will get 3K points when touching it. And if you find it again later, even if it's in a different location, you don't get the 3K again. So we assume it's once a week.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed it's not once time only.
yeah. We'll find out when it resets next week. But we found it. I found it 3 times, and after the update that just happened last night, it was in a different spot. I still was not able to get the point bonus.
Fortunate. But it's still 3K points, and that's a
Mhm.
nice little freebie that you want to look out for.
Yeah, that's almost as much, or that's as much as you can get out of one of the chests. So,
Not as much as you can get.
well, I mean, like it can be as much. Like you get 3 to 5,000 out of the chest,
Yeah,
so it can
baseline.
be, yeah. So,
What I was getting at is that some people seem to be getting 5K out of chests.
yeah,
Maybe
Well,
like
that's in
10%
me.
of the time.
yeah.
I
I think I've gotten. I want to say I've cleared probably around 10 times, and I've gotten 5,000s probably 3 to 4 times.
You're lucky. I've only gotten one, and Shiraj has gotten 0.
Yeah, I've opened the chest 8 times and I've had 0 5Ks.
Mm.
I
Sounds like
hope it's not something that we can influence and we're just being stupid. Like, I want to say it's RNG.
yeah. So far, it feels like RNG because I've been multi-boxing my clears. I go in with my 6 characters, and I've seen
And they're all
like,
contributing the same, right? They're all doing the same
yep,
thing.
they're all doing the same stuff. I'll get like 3,000 on 4 of them, and 5,000 on 2 of them, or something like that. Yeah, you just it feels random to me so far. So until we have further testing, I think it's random.
So to be perfectly clear for the viewers, it's you go in. There's 4 sections for each zone. So southeast, southwest, whatever it is,
Hmm.
4 of them. You pick it. You go in. You kill a bunch of stuff. The bar on the top left fills up. Once it's full, you get a temporary data item for that floor. Then you advance until you're completely done with that section. You have all the data for all the floors. You exit, you go to the next section. If you were in southeast, now you go to southwest or northwest or whatever. Once you do all of them, Apollyon has 18, Temenos has 25. Then you can open the chest at the end. You can't open the chest if you just do the 7 floors of southeast. You have to do
Yeah,
all 25,
yeah,
all 18
yeah. And it's nice because the emergency maintenance that happened last night actually nerfed the amount of monsters that you needed per floor
by a lot.
by a good chunk. So I think we went from at least 10 in Apollyon with 6 people. And earlier, I just went in right before this to test it, and I was doing 6 kills per bar.
I think it's 50% less because last night we were messing around in Apollyon with 5 people and it was 12 kills, maybe
Okay.
11.
Okay.
It
But now it's
changed depending on the
definitely
floor.
true, that too.
Mm. I would
Because it
like
started off with
to
like 10.
I would like to see what it is for full alliances because we took in 3 parties. We had 16 people yesterday, and the grind was pretty significant. So I'm sure it still scales with the amount of people that you have. I just haven't had a chance to take in a group larger than 6.
I'm sure there's breakpoints too because I remember watching a few streams.
Hmm.
Velner in specific said that he enjoyed playing with 12 people because it
Yeah.
was much notably faster than 18 people. So I'm
Hmm.
sure there's breakpoints in there that people are going to have to study it and get down to the nitty-gritty.
Yes, absolutely. I pre update I found 6 to 12 to be really good. And once we got that third party, it was pretty grindy, but I'm really hoping that they made it a little bit easier. I'm really looking forward to Alliance content for this.
Me too.
So
I mean, hopefully tonight or the next day you'll be able to get the link shell together and
yeah,
test it out.
yeah. Well, we've got a link shell event on Sunday. 100%. We're gonna go do a
Heck
full
yeah.
clear of Temenos. And between now and then, I'm sure we'll probably throw a group together, see how that goes.
Yeah.
So the next part of the patch notes, we have the not quite Vorseal Atmas, the Graces is what they're called in this zone. And these are permanent key items that you get from opening the chest a certain amount of times. You have to open the Temenos chest for the delineated grace, which gives accuracy, ranged accuracy, magic accuracy. And then for the angelic grace, you have to open the Apollyon treasure chest, and this gives a stat bonus. And then once you open a third chest after doing both of those, you get a max HP bonus and an XP loss reduction from Vital Grace. And you guys were saying this is server based, the bonuses?
Based on the notes, it seemed to be that the server's efforts into either zone are what
Mm-hmm.
increases it. And I've noticed just by looking at the little detector there that the stats have gone up since we've done it, whether I'm
Mm-hmm.
making progress myself or not.
Yeah, so you can check the stats by talking to the Polygon or Temenos operators at the start. When I just checked, I had 12 accuracy. I think it was 10 stat and 10% XP reduction for deaths.
I'm seeing 12 accuracy, all 3,
Hmm.
BP all 5, Vital
Okay.
Grace 300 HP, EXP loss 12%.
Okay. So maybe it even changed since then because we did do a couple clears,
Hmm.
but that's really interesting if it is purely based off of the server.
It's really nice that these new graces, atmas,
Hmm.
you don't have to like reapply them every time or use cost. They're just there for free. I love that.
Yeah, they just show up. I like that. I wonder. I'm sure they're gonna add more into that as they start adding NMs and stuff to this content. I can't see them not expanding that system. Uh, so that pretty much covers the patch notes as far as everything I see. We already covered the emergency maintenance. The only other thing that I will mention in the patch notes is, and they put this out during while the update was happening Monday night, that there's already typos in the new gear that is out. So
A lot.
there's at least 3 pieces that are mistakenly labeled +5. The thief feet, the paladin head, and the dancer feet. And I know some people in the auction house were very upset about that.
A lot of pieces are missing the plus on them, like the pummelers Caligay just say pummelers Caligay. They're not plus 1, 2, 3, or 4. They're just they're nothing.
Are they?
There's a lot of weird typos on
I
the
have
gear.
the
Like
oh yeah. I didn't notice that because it has that on the actual thing, but in the inventory it says
there you
plus
go,
4.
right on the
Interesting.
stream.
Yeah.
Um, there's a bunch of weird typos. Like an indent, which will move the number from the Mava off to the next line, and it looks like plus random stat.
Hmm.
There's Entourage was would pointed out the Rune Fencer shoes have now critical parry instead of tactical parry.
Yeah.
Avatar perpetuation cost was renamed Avatar upkeep. These are all like just lost in translation things they're gonna have to fix down the road. There's a
Yeah.
ton
Yeah.
of them.
You got to
Now that I was
understand.
thinking about it,
Go ahead,
'cause
Josh.
no, you go. I
Oh,
was talking to myself.
I was just gonna say you got to understand the one intern they have is working 130 hours a week. You got to give him a break, okay?
Well, he's got like cable internet in the bathroom stall. Like it's struggle.
Yeah. Um, okay.
What did you want to add, Trash, if anything?
I thought, yeah, the reason critical parry is used is because it's a mistranslation on the ninja feat as well.
What
The
what is
+1 ninja feat for the Empyrean has tactical parry, but then the +2 Empyrean has critical parry.
what is the stat? I don't even. I'm not familiar with this.
It's so do you know how Paladin has like shield mastery?
Hmm.
The one where you get TP for blocking,
Right.
whichever one that is.
Yeah.
Well, it's similar to that. You get TP when you parry.
Oh, interesting.
But it's supposed to be tactical parry, and it's just like flip flopped or just
Okay.
mistranslated.
Yeah, it's flip
Interesting.
flop because Ninja has the same thing. It's kind of weird.
Mhm.
I knew I recognized the name somewhere.
Okay.
I wouldn't fret though if I'm like looking at this gear. They do this all the time.
Yeah.
It's just the amount of instances of typos is kind of jarring, but
Yeah.
I'd rather have the content than have someone wait another week because they're fixing typos.
Yeah. We had something really recently that we had the same issue with the null mask that came out with Cloud of Darkness, but they did just release 110 new pieces of gear. So I think giving them a little bit of
And
grace working with a skeleton crew is kind of fair.
about
Yeah, they
80 of them have a spelling error.
Okay. You want to move on to taking a look at the gear?
sure.
So
Green borders, baby.
yeah,
Hell yeah, about that.
big green. But what do you guys think of the green borders?
I like it a lot.
I am quite sad because I predicted it.
Really?
Yeah, I did, yeah. I was telling
Mr.
Dex.
Nostradamus.
Bro, I'm telling you, my prediction skills are so good, but it's mostly cursed.
Yeah. Well, I think your prediction skills are really good when you're like betting that you're
Amen.
gonna die to your next solo attempts. So because that's like a
Well, at what
95%.
point is it a prediction, or you're just saying it and then doing it to make yourself seem right?
That's true. That's true. He's actually just killing himself on the shot attempts. He's
Like, look,
like,
I
yeah,
called it.
It's like I actually could do this at any time, but fuck you guys. Um,
Bro, trust, I've got the solo shark cooking up.
so
Let them go.
I think the green looks better than it initially looked when we like saw a screenshot. Once you
Yeah,
see it in game, it doesn't look that bad at all. I actually kind of like it.
I think
it's
when I
like
see it,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say when I see it side by side to like the piss yellow, it doesn't even look as bad as I thought.
Yes, exactly.
See, I was joking that what they should do is get rid of the border for +4 and then do +5, 6, and 7 and redo the original color borders, but make them just like twice as thick so they covered half the icon of the actual gear.
No, they should invert it. The background of the thing is the color, and then the
Yeah.
border is just nothing.
The border just goes out. Or yeah.
It's
Okay.
inverted.
Yeah, there we go. I like that.
Then you can't even see the item anymore.
So beyond the green stuff, um, it's pretty fair to say that people were pretty upset about the stats that we got.
Were
Are, yeah, I guess they are still. I
there's
don't know.
a plethora of forum posts of people just rage baiting each other and
Yeah.
screaming and void.
See, I don't relate. I'm very happy with the gear that came out, but
Well,
it's
Shiraj, like Mr. Prediction, kind of called exactly what happened.
yeah. Shirash, what did you guess was gonna happen before?
I said it was gonna be simply accuracy, and magic evasion.
And is that
Because, like that's what they said they wanted to do, so I said that's what was gonna happen.
and were you happy with what came out after that prediction?
It exceeded some of my expectations.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, because like I knew what to expect,
Mhm.
and I thought they were gonna do less than that, so I'll take it.
To be fair, I think the majority of people are upset because of the mind. Like, no one expected these to break the bank, and if you did, I
Mhm.
think you were huffing copium. But
Yes.
I think the people wanted, like, my headpiece has phalanx +7. It should go to 8. Like, it's not gonna break the game. But
Mhm.
it didn't go to 8. It just stayed at 7, and the base stats went up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my real only complaint here is I said before this came out that I would have liked to see some jobs that need a little extra love get that through this gear, but I didn't really expect that to happen. I think the only thing that I would have liked to see is a little bit more DT on these sets. But
Mm,
the thing that is really nice is a lot of these pieces are starting to get the magic evasion they've been lacking. So I'm really enjoying that
true.
part.
Unless you use paladin
Raj,
stuff.
how much Mava did the Runist body go from to?
I think it's 25
So
bonus. Let me
+25. I know a
let me
lot of feed slots got like 40 or more.
yeah,
Mhm.
let me double check because I don't want to give out the wrong answer.
It's a lot of Mava. Like, don't discount that stat.
Yeah, so the warrior artifact stuff was
It was
not
25, yeah.
25.
the warrior artifact stuff was not really in the realm of usability if you were not using a geomancer to do indie fend for fights like Aita with lots of magic damage.
Mm.
But the feet got 40 magic evasion on them. The legs got 20 magic evasion on them. That's a significant bonus for gear that's
I get
Yeah.
already
your
very solid.
I get your gripe where it's like I kind of wish they had a little bit more DT,
Mhm.
but given that the Empyrean has so much DT on it in those unique slots,
Yeah.
if you kind of like mix and match, you get the best of both worlds where you can kind of cap your DT easily. And now these other pieces that were formerly paper sets, glass cannon sets,
Mhm.
now they're kind of like in line, Mava wise, defense wise, whatever. And they're not so much a risk anymore to put in your TP set and your weapon skill set.
Oh, absolutely. Overall, I'm very, very happy with the pieces that we got. The Agoj mask, notably, was a piece. I even said this before this update. If any job doesn't need a boost right now, it's probably Warrior, but they still upgraded one of the best relic pieces that was already out. The Agoj mask
And
went from,
Corsair got buffed as well. Bard
yeah,
got buffed with the body piece. Like,
yeah.
bro.
How
The
did
Bard's body is
how
a
did
100
Core
attack.
get buffed?
Was it Relic Core Feet? Got a little bit of a buff as well.
Hmm. I figured the relic body would probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
And are there any like standout core pieces next?
The feet
The feet.
from the
Okay.
relic.
Is that
The
just?
artifact is all kind of meh.
Mhm.
I will say that most most artifact pieces either didn't have attack at all, or didn't have accuracy at all, or didn't have magic accuracy at all, depending on the piece.
Mhm.
And check your sets, because some of them, I haven't gone through all the sets with a fine tooth comb, but some pieces have just gotten that missing stat on it. Like suddenly you have 60 Mava, or sorry, 60 magic accuracy
Yeah.
instead of 0.
Mhm. That's huge. Didn't Blue Mage get a big jump in accuracy for a lot of
Yes,
pieces?
from the artifact set.
Let me pull that up real quick because it went from 0 to
That's a good
60 if I
example.
remember correctly.
0 to
That's what
60, just like a fast code.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what some of the Rune Fencer stuff went from as well. Nice.
For accuracy strictly or other stats?
Magic accuracy.
Magic accuracy. Does Rune Fencer need the
Yeah.
magic accuracy?
Not necessarily, but it helps. Like, for example, when I'm doing seg farms, I love to just frightful roll every enemy, just to
Mhm.
help like other people out.
Mhm.
And who knows, you might be able to land on other stuff.
Should I screenshot that little thing I made earlier so you can use that as another example?
Sure, yeah. If you actually I think that's the perfect time. The Ranger set came out pretty nice. And you were kind of doing some math about that. So for the
I had
accuracy.
assumed that it was like marginal,
Mhm.
like compared to the MP set, because some pieces look a little low, like, oh, 58. And when I did the maths, I was like, oh,
Yeah, it's
wow,
when you add that set bonus, it's huge.
even before the set bonus.
That's true.
So
I
you
was pushing
compared
up.
it to the Empyrean set, and we're looking at the Artifact Ranger, right? The upgraded artifact for Ranger,
Yeah, I'm going to send it to you right now.
and we compared it to the Empyrean set. And how much of an accuracy difference was it between the two sets?
Here you go. If you can pull that up on your
Let me
stream.
take a look here. So it was MP had 310 accuracy, and the Empyrean had the artifact had a total of 375. Let me see if
Because of
I
the
can.
bonus. But the agility was worth noting too. Like, that's also accuracy for Ranger.
So this is the set comparison between Malignance, Ikanga R30, Empyrean +4, or Artifact +4, and Empyrean +3. So those are really significant.
Absolutely.
And I think that's going to impact players like you, Shiraj, who really were looking forward to this accuracy stuff.
Yeah, I I did mention this,
Hmm.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
So what is the practical use for the accuracy?
Master trials.
Yeah. Do you think they're
Well, that
gonna be adding like more evasive monsters to the game with Limbus?
I hope not, but I could see it. Like, I'm sure the Ultima and Omega fights might have an accuracy check to them.
Hmm. I also could speculate even that maybe this accuracy bonus is a way to make up for people that are lacking master levels while going to stuff like
I was
base and
just going to
sortie.
say that. So, like, I think newer players who
Mhm.
don't have the master levels, who don't have the Empyrean gear, this, even if it doesn't have attack on it, you'll do a little less damage, but you're going to hit these targets so they can whittle them down. Like, if you're doing a boss fight, the newer players who haven't caught up need
Mhm.
to do these V25 fights, V20 fights, sortie. Now they can hit the target at least, and they can do it slower, but they'll get it done. And now they can work towards catching up. So these are really good transition pieces. Even
Yeah.
if like the top end players aren't using them for niche things like master trials, I think they still serve a purpose.
Mhm. Are there any other standout pieces you guys saw? I know we talked about the Bard set in
Yeah,
particular.
get like the Bard artifact set. I'm gonna crank the math on that.
Hmm.
Like kind of similar to what I just showed you. I want to do the whole thing, skill, charisma, all that. But
Yeah.
on face value, the magic accuracy seems really strong, like 70 plus on some pieces. That's kind of unheard of.
I did a rough estimate, but not like pinpoint, and so far it looks like their artifact head and feet will be the best.
Yeah.
Apparently, the legs, hands, and body piece of Empyrean with the skill make it better.
Yeah, the
Even
Empyrean
with the
hands weren't gonna lose with the skill on them, but the legs
yeah,
and body I could see being a toss up.
and with those breakpoints with the set bonus as well, it's like a 65 magic accuracy bonus,
As
so it's
one of
still
your
pretty
chatters
nice.
just pointed out, Myth, I don't think even with the new skill that we got, which is not much, maybe like 3 or 4 more,
Yeah.
it's still not enough to hit the next breakpoint for Horde Lullaby,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Okay. How much skill is that? Are we talking about exceeding the table that we currently have for
I
the
think
PG Wiki?
648 is not possible.
Okay.
Like currently, you can get 7 yalms of Horde Lullaby radius with 567, but
Mhm.
648 is just not possible. And most people settle for the 6 yalm tier, which is lower skill as well,
Oh, interesting.
just under 500.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a lot easier for people to hit the 7 yalm tier as we continue to get more skill gear and more accuracy gear.
absolutely. And that's really what I think these sets are built for, is making up like small little gaps like that. I'm excited because uh, have you taken a look at the Paladin set yet, Chirash?
I have,
How,
and
what do you think of the artifact set? I'm particularly looking at the artifact body for the fast cast.
honestly, depends because none of the pieces really change.
Hmm.
Like, look at how much magic evasion all of the pieces have.
Yeah, it seems
It's kind of
relatively low.
yeah, it's kind of pathetic.
Yeah,
Um,
I was curious. I can't even remember how much magic evasion the +3 has, but I was hoping to add a little bit more just in case you get caught in that precast set.
the +3 has 68, I think.
Mhm.
The body piece, that is.
+3 is 68. Okay. If this gets buffed to +5, I could very well see the artifact body being like the mid cast flash piece because it's got 10 enmity. The fast cast could be really nice. I'd have to take a closer look at the entire
Um,
flash set, but I could see that working out.
the artifact body +3 used to be pretty much best in slot.
Mhm.
Like, it was a good few years ago
Yeah,
because even though Sovereign +1 existed back then, nobody could afford it. So
right.
the +3 artifact body was kind of like the second best, that kind of defaulted to the best.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that might be worth considering because people always forget that fast cast needs to go in the mid cast set of Flash,
Yeah.
and it's a really nice piece, even though it doesn't quite have enough, as much enmity. I'd be willing to make that sacrifice. Let's see. Any other
I've heard that piece
notable?
playing out really well. I don't want to segue off of Paladin if you're not
No,
done, but
you're fine. You said
I heard Thief
Beastmaster?
made out really well. Thief.
Oh, Thief. Okay. Do
I heard
you
3
know
of their
anything about
artifacts.
those sets?
I know the body was used for triple attack and just throwing. I think it has 70 accuracy on it now, so it just makes it
Mhm.
even stronger.
Okay.
The headpiece Thief and Red Mage for whatever reason always had lower weapon skill stats than others. Like they had like
Mhm.
5 or 8 or 6 or something.
Yes.
The Pillager Bonnet is now up to 9 weapon skill damage, so it's kind of like comparable.
Okay.
Has crit damage on it too, so it might be better off for Thief than other jobs.
Yeah, I was looking at the red mage head the other day, and I thought it was a pretty interesting choice that they decided to put 6% on the +3, and I'm glad they upgraded that with the +4 they upgraded it by 3%, which is the biggest weapon skill damage jump I think of any of the pieces that we've seen. But it
Yeah,
would
it's
have
Thief and Red
been,
Mage.
yeah, it would have been nice to see them just balance that out. I can't think of a reason to have that percentage lower compared to the other pieces. Can you?
Any other jobs you mean?
Yeah.
Like how I guess all artifact that had +10 now is 12 and
Mhm.
so on and so forth. I don't know
Yeah.
why they would do that for red mage. For
Mhm.
thief, I kind of get it because it has critical damage on it, so
Sure.
it's kind of the same thing. But red mage, it doesn't seem to make any sense.
Yeah.
I agree. They could have just thrown it at 12, and it wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah, I think
This
I
is how
think
they
it
make
would be
their jobs
nice.
unique.
Yeah, they got to nerf red mage somehow. It's too strong as it is.
Speaking of red mage, of all the jobs that magic accuracy affects deeply, did
Mhm.
red mage get like a significant boost? Is it going to change their sets in any way, or
I think
are
it
the
would.
good just better?
Um, in a max magic accuracy set, I could see the 5 out of 5 artifact.
Really?
I haven't mastered it out, but
Mhm.
I could see it being 5 out of 5.
Because like you're always brainstorming and trying to see like breakpoints and resistance tiers for stuff like Wings of War.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's going to change it or if we still need something more.
It looks like they got about 10 magic accuracy bonus on most of the pieces.
Yeah. The issue for that kind of fight though, Dex, is it's not like flat out resistances we're dealing with. It's the fact that like a spell so important as Frazzle cannot land. You cannot land it, no matter how good your magic accuracy is.
Yeah, you need stymie, right?
Yeah, so like that's where Red Mage has fallen short in that fight,
Mm.
unfortunately.
You couldn't land it until now with this overpowered, super crazy magic accuracy from +4, right?
Yeah.
If the auction house had had their way, the forum posters, all of these pieces would have just had a plus 150 magic accuracy on them,
Yeah, it's plus
and
100 everything, and then
and
like plus
yeah,
500 weapon kill damage.
yeah, 20%. Yeah, I was gonna say
Well,
20% weapon skill damage,
people are
but
mad that there's no plus 15 weapon skill damage. People are mad that, the unique stats aren't higher.
yeah, I can't believe this artifact gear is not beating Naomi R30. What the fuck?
I understand like wanting more. You always want more, but
Mhm.
like temper your
What?
expectations a little.
Yeah, like what
Yeah,
content are you going to use it on? Is the thing.
yeah.
It's
Actually,
not gonna
there.
eliminate to do Odyssey, right? Like that. Why would they do that?
Yeah, like there's no point in making Odyssey redundant when half of the players or more haven't even beaten it.
Yes, absolutely. There is at least one piece that I can think of that I think if I'm not mistaken, it just flat out beats Naomi Path B even at R30, and that's the Bard Relic body. Is that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
I
very
think that's not
nice.
the only one.
Hmm.
I think the Ranger hat might. I
Okay.
haven't done a deep dive, and I think one of the dancer pieces might.
Oh, really?
With
Interesting.
hand. But the Bard body gives like 100 to attack now,
Yeah.
which is
I
nuts.
I've actually been considering, even though I have an Ashera harness on my Bard character because she really only plays Bard, I've been
Path
considering
B,
making a Path A Naomi.
yeah, swap it over.
Yeah,
Bro, that's what Baker done. He
run
has a
that.
Make it
Pathe
better.
Nyame body.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, even an R30 Nyame body, you likely wouldn't want to use it over the Relic in most endgame fights.
Hmm.
Yep.
Because you're definitely not attack capped in some of these fights.
Yeah. It,
And
it
even if you are that 2% weapon skill damage and
mhm.
the double attack, like who cares?
The little
Still
stuff
change.
like
Yeah.
that is what gets me really excited about this gear because it's not breaking the game. It's making newer things possible, especially for people that don't have access to
Hmm.
Niame R30 and stuff like that. And it's providing new options for people that do. So we get to min max a little bit more, and everybody else gets a little boost.
Imagine a world where like a year or two from now, we have to go back to do Bumba again because people are changing their sets.
Yeah, I I wouldn't be terribly surprised. I could
I could definitely see it.
if Dragoon got a bunch of sets that made Nyame redundant and got to change to Path A Nyame, I would be over the moon.
Bro, like Nyame Path A is the body. You said a Shara harness, right? A Shara harness
Hmm.
is it 45 or 50 accuracy, and then it's
Um,
10 store TP.
Let me take a look real
Don't
quick.
know. I
Share
don't have one.
harness.
But but
So
the
it's 10 store TP and yeah, 45 accuracy.
so the Nyame is 70 accuracy and 15 store TP for one
And
DT difference.
Nyame has much higher magic evasion
Crazy.
and
Yep,
DT, which
yep.
is the big benefit to me
So
is
you lose one DT for
mhm,
better defenses overall by a
Mhm.
lot. You lose resist paralyze, who cares?
Yeah.
Bring medicine.
Yeah.
You get 50% more store TP and almost 50% more accuracy. That's nuts.
Yeah. It's a significant boost. I've
You're a
always
one
felt that a share harness was kind of outdated, but there's
I think
not
most of those
really.
bodies are, let's be real.
Yeah, but a share has been lasting because there's no good alternative for a lot of those jobs.
For Bard at least.
Hmm.
If you're a one trick or if you have jobs that just have body pieces now that got better upgrades, then I could definitely see doing maybe not just the body, but other pieces path A.
Yeah, if
I really
you.
hope that down the road
Mhm,
there's an argument to be made to go path C or D for some jobs. There currently
mm,
isn't.
that'd be interesting. I feel like most of the people that have, let's say, even 5+ jobs, you're probably still going to want to stay with Path B for the
For the
weapon skill
flexibility.
damage. Yeah, but if you aren't, and like I said, the character that I have that plays Bard is only Bard. Um, I I would really like to change that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else for the gear that popped out to you guys?
Beastmaster. Sorry.
Beastmaster. Tell me about it because I haven't even looked at the Beastmaster stuff.
The relic headpiece got 2 more weapon skill damage, right?
Hmm.
And more attack. So that means Beastmaster is now the top DPS, and that we need to use it for every bit of content.
Yeah, that makes
This
sense.
went a different direction.
Yeah. I mean, I've been advocating that for a while, but Beastmaster, most underrated job in the game. It can do more than just spit on people.
It can suck. Sorry.
Uh,
Yeah, we don't have a mama pet to really spit on people.
yeah, it's unfortunate.
You want to talk about unfortunate? Like, I play blue mage. I
Mhm,
look at both of the weapon skill pieces, the artifact body and the relic legs.
mhm.
I was like, are these going to be better than Nyame now? And neither has attack, 0.
Oh no. So
So,
they've started to make up on some of the accuracy stats, but it looks like they're still
like,
relatively
if your
attack
piece didn't
starved.
have attack, it's not going to have attack. I think the relic legs
Mhm,
are still good for like magic weapon skills, but
mhm. Damn.
look at
Uh,
your favorite job and check if it has attack or if it's missing something before you make a snap.
yeah, yeah. The None of these pieces should like just be glanced at and then make a big decision on changing about how you're going to rework your job based on that piece. They need to be scrutinized quite a bit.
There's a lot of
Luckily,
nuance here.
yeah, luckily, a lot of the biggest benefit I think is that the pieces that are already being used, like I'll say like the warrior mask, some of the red mage gear, it's just getting better. So be happy about that. That's what I'm excited about.
Hell yeah. Everyone wants
Uh,
marginal improvements. We play an MMO.
Exactly.
you are not
Min-max.
allowed to be happy in this game.
Shut
It's
up.
the law. It's the law.
You can't expect people to be
I
happy.
didn't mean really
We're,
shut up. You can talk.
We're playing a game.
honestly, I was kind of distracted because I had a Galka just teabag me and Mora.
Hegmo teabag.
Are you working the corner while we're recording this, Josh?
I was AFK on a bridge and a Galka just came up to me and teabagged
You're
me.
under the
You
bridge.
He's projecting now. He's working chat. He was working the corner while we're recording this.
The fuck?
This is what happens when you don't bring him into RP farm while we're talking.
Yeah, this is the one time can work on my MP trials.
Gotta make that gill. Gotta make that gill.
Okay, let's see. Are we ready to
You want to
move
talk about the
on?
copium?
Do you want to talk about the what?
The copium on the forums?
Oh, geez. Yeah, why don't you start us off on that? There's this
Well,
a whole other thing.
I've noticed like lately, all the forums, everyone's talking about, well, they've all settled their mind. This sucks. The content is dead on arrival. Everyone's saying DOA, dead on arrival.
Yeah.
There's no reason to do it. The gear sucks. The content's boring.
Mhm.
There's nothing interesting. It's just beat 'em up. I'm done. And they're gonna add +5 in 2 weeks or in 4 weeks or in a month. Like they're gonna add +5. So we'll just have to wait and see, and then we might decide to do it. And so many people are on this +5 idea. Like
I think they will add +5.
Did I miss something? Like, is this confirmed?
I
Or is
don't
this
think
just
it
like,
was.
It's all speculation.
yeah,
Yes.
it has to be all speculation. Like,
Yes.
will they add +5 in the future? I mean, maybe. Just
The,
because the trend of things is to go 2 tiers per content drop, right?
right. I the reason I expect +5 is because they have to. We've already confirmed they're adding more content to Limbus. There's going to be
Yeah.
NMs. There's going to be other objectives, most likely. They have to reward you with something, and +5 makes sense to that for
Well, there's
to be the next
accessories that
level.
aren't in the game, like brutal earring, loquacious earring,
Mhm.
musical earring, and stuff like that was rewarded from ancient beast coins from Limbus 1.0. There
Yes.
is kind of a void there.
And if they rework that stuff too, I'd be just as happy. I just expect them to. I don't think it would be very difficult for them if they've already put in the work for +4 to just add another 5 accuracy attack to all the stuff and then do +5.
I get it, but I think like the prevailing idea that this is just truth
Mhm.
is kind of silly. Like
Sure.
I've said it before in this discussion, like people need to temper their expectations and like take a step back,
Yeah.
like
I
appreciate
need a
what they have
+5
and what works.
Mhm.
because if a +5 comes out, that means there's a chance for a red border.
Yeah.
Is that
That's
your
what I'm looking
prediction?
forward to.
It's not a prediction. That's a desire. I want
Mhm.
that. Give me a red
I'll make
border.
a prediction.
What's that?
Limbus 1.0, every floor had a boss.
Mhm.
So there was like mobs and a boss.
Mhm.
And like for Apollyon, one zone may be like this floor, everything's immune to slashing. And then the boss was like, you had to fight him a certain way. I
Mhm.
think once they add more content, they're going to add a boss to each floor. And it'll have its own separate bar below the progress bar for kills.
Sure.
So that people aren't incentivized to kill it over and over again. You kill it once and you're done. I think it's going to reward a chunk of points and like a key item or temporary key item. And you build all those temporary key items in order to get access to Ultima and Omega. I don't think
Yeah.
it's going to drop any.
Okay.
That's my
Yeah.
prediction. I
I
think it's just points, supplemental points, and Mega Boss access.
yeah. I
But
think that makes
if I'm wrong, I'm
sense.
wrong. I'm happy if they add more stuff and give us more toys to chase and more shinies. I just don't expect.
Yeah, if they add +5, I expect that it would be linked to like the mega bosses in the zone, not the like roving NMs or however they choose to do that.
Okay, so you think
Also,
Ultima and
sorry,
Omega will be +5 access?
Yeah,
If and
potentially.
that
when?
would be cool.
Go ahead, Trush.
Um, I just realized something, right? So a lot of these people will grind like I don't know master levels, or they will grind sortie for like an extra 3 strength, but they won't do Limbus for an extra for like 5 accuracy or
Yeah.
5 defense,
And
and
3
like
strength on top
and
of it.
3 strength.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like you're getting the strength, but you don't want to do it because it's shit.
Yeah. I
People
don't
arbitrarily decide that one content is better than the other content, and therefore I'm not doing this content, even though they're not looking at the bigger picture and seeing like the overall stats. If you really care about the min-maxing, like stats are there.
yeah.
You can make stats. It's
They
not
probably
complicated.
can't see the bigger picture because they're fucking too busy crying.
I don't think the
Oh.
jump between +3 artifacts and +4 is that much different from +2 to +3 Empyrean.
But the problem is the people are like completely thrown off with Empyrean because the jump from 1 to 2 was so drastic.
I think it needed it though. Like some of those Empyrean pieces were so useless.
Oh, I agree with you.
And while you can make the argument some artifact pieces at +3 are useless, it's just the gap was bigger on +1.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You guys ready to move on to the actual content?
Hell
There's
yeah, brother.
content? I thought we were done.
The actual content. So
We just complain around here.
yeah, we just
That's
complain.
all I-
All right. So since we're talking about content now, I am so fucking sick of listening to people complain, man. I I even told somebody in Link Shell that if they don't stop complaining about this, because I'm so tired of listening to it, I'm going to kick them. Because all I've been hearing ever since the drop is constant, incessant complaining. And I just want to enjoy the content. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying the upgrades. Just stop spamming me
I mean,
with complaints.
what I don't understand is why would you want to play the game? Why would you want to like be active on the game if you're just
Mhm.
not happy with it? Just go touch some grass,
Yeah.
you know?
Like
Like it's
If
just
not
anything,
healthy just to sit in an echo chamber of people who agree with you that the content sucks. It's just
if you're
dumb.
playing this game and you were like, I'm having fun. I do a thing every day or every 3 days, and I'm working on these gears and I'm working on this job. I'm having fun trying to like improve my character. And then
yeah.
they add this whole new piece of content that you can go and do a thing if you want with the least restrictive access
Mhm.
and system they've implemented in like a decade. The least restrictive. Do it whenever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And these people are like, no.
You know what my favorite part about Limbus has been so far is I've actually been enjoying Sortie more now that Limbus is out because I get a break from it. I like Limbus has killed a little bit of the monotony of just a daily sortie run, doing the routine and cashing out my points. So now when I actually get into sortie after running some Limbus, I'm enjoying the change of pace. I'm enjoying actually doing the content. Um, and that's not something that I expected.
Well, that's really nice. I mean, if anything, that should be like the telltale sign for people to just split their content up and not get stuck doing the same grind every day. If you're going to do
Yeah,
that, you're going to get burnt out.
yeah, absolutely.
Not
Um,
everyone is built like some of us, where we're just insane.
or you just do,
Casuals. Sorry.
or you just do sortie every day for 2.5 years, 7 days a week.
Hey, man, gotta get
That's
those
real
points.
gamer right there.
Yeah, no casuals allowed here. All right,
Don't get me wrong.
so
Like there are days where it's like, why am I doing this? But I
but you
could
do
see,
it anyway.
for most
Especially
groups.
when someone DCs and sortie and you miss the key item.
Well, let's not talk about it
Sorry.
too soon.
Hey, it
Um,
happens.
honestly, like most groups could take a day off and instead of spending an hour in sortie or 2 hours in dynamis, they could spend an hour or two in one of the wings of Limbus and improve their characters because Lord knows
Some of them
it's
need
not,
it. Sorry.
you're gonna need it, and doing 50K in a week is
Mhm.
reasonable, but it's also a lot of time investment. You don't have to do all 50K in the week,
Yeah,
and there's a catch up mechanic.
yeah, I like it. Um, so one of my favorite things about the new Limbus as well is it's not bad for exemplar points and job points. It's not bad at all. We had
It's pretty
somebody in the link
similar to
shell.
DLC, right?
Yeah, we had somebody in the link shell that just went to farm the central tower in Temenos, and all they did was stay on one floor and kill stuff, and they got like about 8,000 points in an hour, and they were making 200,000 exemplar points in an hour. Like that's a win-win.
8,000 um Polyan, whatever they're called, units
Yeah, 8,000
or
Temenos
Temenos units.
units. Yeah,
That's pretty good
yeah,
for an hour.
that's great.
That's almost as much as you would get doing the run to get
Mhm.
the chest at the end.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
much less. Oh,
You can't be
he
saying that.
corrected me. He corrected me. It was 4K an
Oh,
hour,
fuck yeah.
so it's a little
Okay.
bit
Okay, but
less, but
that's
still
still
not
really
bad.
good.
Yeah.
That's still a respectable amount.
If you farmed all 5 of your chests for the week,
Mhm.
boom.
Yeah, I think that's a great alternative. And passively getting gains and job points in master levels. Imagine being a new player, you just got out of Omen, and instead of having that gigantic gap between something like Omen and Odyssey or Sortie, now you have this as an option.
Did you see what people are saying?
What's
Like
that?
some people are really upset that it doesn't give more exemplar points because they wanted it to replace like locust camps and stuff like that.
No, because those are designed to be EXP. This is like hybrid. This is you're
Mhm.
working
Yeah.
on endgame and you're getting progress, which is how all endgames should be. All
Yes.
endgames should give you meager amounts of exemplar that add up, as opposed to like nothing.
Mhm.
Enjoy Sortie where you got like 10k exemplar points for like an hour.
Yeah, I wish they'd buff the exemplar points in sortie a little bit.
It's worth
Even
noting that these mobs are squishy. They,
yeah.
with mild buffs, you're going to do like 25, 30k,
Hmm.
and you're going to 4 or 5 weapon skill kill it very easily.
Yeah, and that's
These
on
things die
level
quickly.
130. Level 119, you could probably kill it even quicker.
Oh, for sure.
The damage
Add
won't
Aria
increase a
into the
little bit,
picture.
but
Shit.
yeah, the damage won't increase too much at 119, but they have less HP, so it'll be pretty quick.
But I think if you're going to go for like an exemplar point style approach of farming points, you want to
Mhm.
max it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's nice to have alternatives, right? Like a lot of people complain that um they might want to go farm master level like 1 to 20, 1 to 30 with the team, but no one
Mhm.
shouts for it. It's just people tend to either do it with a link shell group, a static group, or they buy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or God forbid bought it themselves. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's
Bro, I seen somebody bot on it today.
Oh, in Limbus?
Yes, I seen
yeah,
someone botting in Apollyon today on
yeah.
the.
I did too.
That's important.
I'm not gonna name them, but they were a samurai, and they know who they are.
No,
You know,
I saw a
yeah.
different group botting it then, because
Oh, this was a single person, a soloer.
oh
He was
really?
soloing with trust botting it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
That being
I
said, everything spawns in 1 minute. It can accommodate enough
yeah,
people.
I think they did as good of a job as can be expected to make it anti-bot friendly.
To be fair,
No,
you
they
can
did
MPK the
better.
bots.
Can you?
Yeah, you can MPK the bots, especially in
The
Terminals.
mobs have to walk back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, just sleep
They
them
did
and
better than I expected, considering all the things they had to balance with this
mhm.
and how little of a team they're working with.
Making it a roving event where you benefit the most by moving floor to floor is a really good choice.
Because it de-incentivizes bots and it forces people. It doesn't force people, but it incentivizes people to move around, which is good. It's good.
Yes, absolutely.
Look at exemplar points in Crawler's Nest, for example, where you're just single target killing. It's monotonous and it's boring as fuck.
I
Nobody likes
guess
that.
I guess since we're talking about like all these mechanics, we should probably talk about the actual content and how it works. You
Mm-hmm.
guys have done Temenos, right? You want to start with that one and give me your overall thoughts of the process of going in, talking to the operator, and working your way through the floors.
You walk in, you talk to the operator, and he gives you a quick little diatribe, and then he asks you what level you want to set the content to.
Mm-hmm.
119 to 130. So you have that spread of range of levels. The way that works is when you're in the content, there's tons of mobs up at all times all over the place. And if you tag the mob or aggro it, either or, it will be set to the level of the player that gained enmity on the mob. And it's worth noting that, like, if you do a debuff on the mob while it's passive, if you do like Horde Lullaby,
Mm-hmm.
it will not sleep the mobs because they get slept and instantaneously their level gets set to your level and it removes their debuffs. So if you want to like sleep everything, you want to run through and aggro it and then sleep it.
Yeah, yeah. So I think they called it a claim shield,
Yes.
where there's a little bit of a delay, and I noticed this mostly because I would target a monster out of weapon skill, and sometimes my weapon skills they would do like 30,000 damage or something, and then the monster's HP just did not go down until I weapon skilled the second time. It was kind of strange, but once that
It's just
mechanic
something
was
to get used
explained to
to.
me, yeah, it's just one of those things where this is a relative. I think has there been a mechanic like that before? Is this
Where
new?
the level is very variable to anyone at any time? I don't think so.
Yeah, and there's a
Um,
claim shield like that.
there is in Rise and Jima.
Hmm.
Really?
Um, it's one of the Rhapsodies quests.
Okay.
You need to kill like 3 Narakas or something near
Hmm.
Conflict 6, and those start at a set level. But as soon as you engage them, they like level sync down because you have a key item that weakens them.
Okay.
Oh, really?
So that seems to me like a really good use and unique creative way to use the resources that they have to pull something out like that. Because I
Yeah.
was very confused about how they were going to manage the levels during this.
Yeah, but not making this instance and anyone can just run in.
Mhm.
Not only is it like really balanced because you can kind of work the levels however you want to play the content, solo, party, but it also like feels more like an MMO. You're just seeing people everywhere.
Yeah. So
It's refreshing.
for Temenos in particular, we've got it. I believe it's the harder zone. I think because of the monster types and the
Layout.
environment, yeah, it makes it a little bit more difficult. There's going to be smaller areas outside of the central tower, which is a much bigger area. Um, there's going to be a lot of really annoying monsters, like the fairies in particular are kind of annoying because they do a full dispel, and they're in every tower. Is that correct? Maybe not
It
the
seems
central.
that way. I think there might be someone has reported a bug
Hmm.
because Apollyon has 4 different zones with different family types in each zone, whereas
Yeah.
Temenos seems to have the same type of stuff in every zone.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's intended or not. Time will tell. But yes, the same types of mobs are all over, like Beastmen, um, Arcana, Meebles. I guess Meebles are Beastmen.
Yeah.
Aerns, and Gra, all that kind of stuff.
And then for Temenos, for per floor, for one party, you need what, 4 kills to fill up the
No,
bar?
Temenos
And
is a little bit more, right?
I thought the Apollyon was
Oh
more.
no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Central.
Yeah, no
Post
worries.
post update.
Post.
The 7 floor towers
Mhm.
are 4 kills now.
Okay, and
Yes,
then Central was what, double that?
something like that. Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
but there's
Central's
only 4
8.
floors of Central.
but it's also definitely worth noting that you get way more points from Central. I think it's just
Yes,
double the points.
if you're gonna farm points and exemplar points
Yeah.
at the same time rather than doing the objective air quotes, then I
Mhm.
would farm Central. Central's a much bigger area too, so you can take your party and go somewhere more secluded.
Yeah, my first time in Limbus, right after the update, I logged in 5 minutes after the update was done, went into Temenos, and I just went to a random floor and started killing stuff. I didn't know anything about the data. I didn't know anything about moving through. I just went and started killing stuff, and I ended up on one of the bigger towers, and I think I got like 4 or 5 thousand points after maybe an hour, maybe even a little bit less than that. But
That's not bad considering you didn't know anything.
yeah, yeah, no, it's perfectly fine. I'll let smarter people than me figure out the mechanics, you know?
More dedicated, not smarter.
Absolutely. No.
I kind of figured out the chest mechanic by accident because
Mhm,
I was with Baker and who else was I with? It was with you, Dex, as well, but there was another person.
Oh,
mhm.
when we joined you after the fact, because you and Baker
Yeah,
had done a tower together, but by
yeah, we'd
yourself.
already done the tower. Yeah, who was the other person we were with?
I don't remember,
Was
but
it Monstro?
It might have been Michael and Kuno. I don't know.
you had already done a tower. The chest said, "You can't use this." You're like,
Mhm.
"What the heck?" And then we
Yeah,
did all the towers together. We did all 25 of Temenos, and then we got the loot at the end.
the funniest thing ever was going into Central, not realizing how big it was, and I was on Paladin at the time. I went from the spawn elevator all the
Mhm.
way to the end, just pulling every single enemy.
Yeah, let's just run to the end and zone it. It's fine. You end up
Yeah.
having 100 mobs on you.
There was
Yeah,
about
in
100
Temenos you
enemies
do. Yeah. So is that the strategy you guys were doing? Just a paladin tank and zone
on day
on the
one. Yeah,
whole? Yeah.
On day one, yes.
Would you change that now that you need less kills?
I don't think you
like
really
Blue
need
Mage.
a paladin, especially because you need less kills. Yes, I wouldn't. I don't think you really need a paladin.
Yeah, but
This
even if
content is
you
super flexible. You can bring anything.
need less kills, you're in Temenos specifically, you're likely going to train a lot of those mobs.
Oh, to speak to the difficulty of Temenos versus Apollyon, Temenos' halls are so tight,
Mhm.
it's almost impossible not to aggro additional things,
Yes.
and most things link.
Yes. So that was my question is that I don't feel like the strategy is going to change much because you're probably going to end up with all of those mobs
I think you
aggroing
can
without
bypass
wanting.
having a tank if you
Yes.
bring jobs that can sleep go or crowd control. Like
Okay.
I've been running him with blue. I'll just entomb everything.
So my day one strategy once I figured out the floors was I brought a warrior in and I used indie barrier. and I pulled everything on warrior. I didn't sleep anything. I just killed it, and I pull whole zones of Temenos. And as long as I had barrier on, it was fine. When I switched the Geo out of the party because I wanted a Link Shell member to get some buffs, it
Mm-hmm.
became much more dangerous.
It started hitting you much harder.
Yeah, and even
It
like
wasn't
my
sustainable anymore.
now that I've been tinkering it with it more, I've dropped the Geo for a second Corsair, and I've been doing Gallant's roll with Phalanx 2 for my Red Mage.
Yeah, don't
And
sleep on Gallant.
yeah, and it's effective, but it's still not doing as much as Barrier did.
Mm.
It feels like there's I don't know, the Geo bubble feels really, really strong in there.
I think that's definitely a viable and reasonable approach to it.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is more that so much more is available that you can pick and choose whatever suits your fancy with whomever joins your group that day, because
Yeah.
it's not difficult content. The mobs are, squishy. It's only when they're on top of you en masse that it
Mm-hmm.
becomes kind of scary.
Yes.
So you can kind of like choose a way to tackle dealing with a lot of crap at once,
Mm-hmm.
and whichever path you pick, like super buffing your defenses, having a tank manage them, CCing the shit out of them. I'm sure even summoner would probably be good here. Like you can find a way to make it work, and that
Yeah.
way, the job that you brought might be the job you might have more fun on. It might be the job you need master points on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is great for getting exemplar points on those jobs. Like I think I'm gonna bring Ninja in because I want
What do
some
you mean it's
Ninja
not
master
efficient?
levels. Get out of here. Go back to playing Beastmaster Shirash.
He did. It was
I,
good.
Did you?
yeah, I did. Bro, I took Beastmaster into Apollyon, and we didn't have we had Blue Mage, Red Mage, and Beastmaster, right?
Mm,
Blue Red Beast, and then two like a 3-song bard that isn't geared and a Corsair
mm-hmm.
that isn't geared.
Wow.
And
How'd
Just
it
running
go?
around giving buffs.
yeah, I was helping heal with fucking Wild Carrot.
Oh yeah, man. I love. Don't sleep on Pondering Peter. I, dude, that guy puts in
Bro, it was
fucking
clutch
work.
as fuck
Peter
sometimes.
Yeah,
thinking about, man.
I think I told you about the time I main healed a Dynamis run on Beast Sub Dancer
Yeah.
with Pondering Peter. Dude, Pondering Peter is the fucking man.
What's that Peter man think about?
Okay. So, how many runs have you guys done through Temenos?
Four.
Temenos, I think I've done 3.
Okay.
Charge has done 4.
Yeah, I think I've done four as well. I did just enough to get the 20,000 points and some change for the relic
I've
head.
had to have done 4. I'm at 30 something and change. 38.
Okay.
It's all blurred, dude.
Yeah, no, I
On the
know.
Blurred podcast.
So it's all a blur, and that's right. I got him. So what do you guys think about Apollyon compared to Temenos?
Infinitely better, more enjoyable to farm, quicker.
It's got more variety.
Mm-hmm.
The layout isn't maze like. You're not like just following the path and not knowing where you're going.
Yeah.
You don't really like in Temenos, you don't know where the end location is. You kind of just like go and you make a left, make a right. Sometimes you hit a dead end. Oh shit, I aggroed a bunch more stuff I didn't need. With
Mm-hmm.
Apollyon, it's it's Primivian, so flat surface, you can see the exit on the other side and you just make your way that way, and you can avoid aggro too that way.
Somebody noted that their favorite thing about Apollyon is that we're not in halls for once, because we've been in just a hallways for years now. A
Ooh, yeah, I
sortie,
didn't even thought about that. I have
yes.
PTSD and I didn't even know.
Exactly. You've been groomed to just accept the fact that you're in hallways from
Got
sortie.
Stockholm syndrome from all the hallways.
Yeah, exactly. So being like an open area in Apollyon is really, really nice. I've been
Hmm.
enjoying that. The mob resistances seem a little bit different in Apollyon. I've been trying to do some magic damage strategies with Ranger and Corsair Leaden Salutes.
Well, that's been
And
very successful, right?
yes and no. Like it's been doing the most damage like to the monsters that don't resist, but the tower in Apollyon that has the demons and the I think the undead floaty head guys. I don't know what family they are, but they resist magic damage pretty hard. So
Well, you can switch to Savage at least,
yeah, and
on Ranger.
that's what you have to do.
Then if you're doing every other floor and your weapon skills are going from Savages that do 30k to True Flights that do 60 to 99s, then that's worth it.
Yeah, and doing a 90k true flight feels pretty fucking good when you have 50% DT on the monsters.
What
Did
I
we
don't
discuss that?
understand about the resistances. I seen Kunal do like a 99k leaden salute to a ghost.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, like ghost should be
Yeah.
resisting darkness.
Yeah,
We
I noticed that
definitely
as
gotta
well.
say that it hasn't really been thoroughly tested,
Mhm.
but I want to say that all of these zones have explicit mechanics about resistances for everything under the sun, and it's just going to take time to get it all mapped out once someone like fully updates the wiki with all the info.
Yeah. I
People update the wiki? What?
Not yet, no.
well, that's the other thing is, are people going to update the wiki? I'm sure they are,
Yeah,
but
but
the
how
team that's
fast is
working
the
on
problem?
that is much smaller than it once was.
Well, just like for example, pulling up the original Northeast Apollyon level 75,
Mhm.
floor 1, there's a boss and then there's 12 mobs. Then there's no special mechanic there. This is a bad example. Let me find one. There was one that had like this one's slashing immune, this one's this immune. Floor 1 of Northwest, everything is immune to all mobs can be slept, although the boss is resistant. These have a strong plague. These have very high defense. These have thunder and blizzard resistance. Can't be bound. Huh. I mean, I thought this was a lot more complicated maybe than it was.
Mhm. Your rose tinted glasses are remembering the glory days a little bit differently.
Well,
Yeah, back when the
Southeast
hardest mechanic was
Napoleon, all
standing
mobs are
medals.
immune to blunt and weak to slashing.
Mhm.
That's a good one.
Back when the dinosaurs roamed Fanadil.
Dinosaur. Floor 2, all mobs are immune to slashing and weak to piercing.
Mhm.
Floor 3, all mobs are immune to piercing and weak to blunts. Floor 4, all mobs are immune to magic except for the armory until all the spears are defeated. See,
Yeah.
this is what I was thinking of.
Yeah, we definitely don't have resistances like that, but I think the 50% DT is relatively accurate, and I think that is paired with the normal like familial resistances that you're going to see.
Might
Is it
be.
the same as the
It's
families?
just
I don't think it's the same as the families are outside.
it
Maybe
must.
not identical, but some of them definitely have similar properties. What were you going to say, Shraj?
Or
There's been some really inconsistencies though, because like the first day of Limbus, I seen Savage Blades hitting the slimes for 40 to 50k, and then today I seen Savage Blades hitting the slimes for 10k,
Hmm.
and it's like, why is there so much of like, there's so much inconsistencies there.
Yeah,
Like I should not be seeing a leaden salute do cap damage on a ghost. That should not happen.
yeah. I was seeing pretty big let-ins on the ghosts as well.
And then on the little floating heads, I seen a leaden salute do 300 damage,
Yep,
which
they
you
were
would
resisting
expect because it's
hard.
undead.
Yeah, those
It makes no sense.
those
I
heads
think to
I
my
think were the worst.
like the original content, each floor might have varied. Like one
Mhm.
zone might not have had strict mechanics, but one zone might have strict mechanics on what
Yeah,
types of damage you can do. I think they might have taken that spirit of it and adjusted the way the mobs take damage, and that'll
possibly.
just take a lot of practice and testing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very may well be true for
Well,
that.
Odyssey is similar, right? Like mobs don't follow the usual structure to a T. They're similar, but
true.
not
Yeah,
to a T.
yeah, I think it's something similar to that. But there's definitely some family resistances. Somebody brought in their dragoon and was telling me that the adamantoids, were not taking piercing damage very well. I'm
Huh.
sure there's other things like that. I haven't tested that, but I know slashing damage is working on them. I haven't had anything resist slashing damage. Maybe the
Now,
slimes will take a little bit less, but
are to bring it back to the whole concept of this content, everyone's just been running in with buff DDs and do physical damage, right?
yeah.
do you think this content is viable to do with like a full mage group and just nuke shit?
Oh,
Or
absolutely.
really?
So I think
I
it's
would
going to
assume so.
be a little bit more. You're still going to need a magic burst, right? I think mage strat would be a good low man way to do it. So if you have like 2 or 3 people and you have like a black mage magic bursting, I think it'd be great. I've seen some screenshots of pups bringing in their puppet black mage and hitting like 50k nukes with just trusts. I think
Yeah, I
that's
saw that they
fucking
were doing
phenomenal.
like 9k stringing pummel, 9k this liquefaction, and then like a 50k burst, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a puppet master, dude. Like no job can do that. That's a puppet master's job. It's so good.
Hey.
No sarcasm, sir.
Okay, fine, fine. My bad, my
God
bad.
damn it. Yeah, people are
But
gonna
like
listen to this and be like, "Oh wow, Pop's
puppet
that good."
meta,
Oh
puppet
man.
meta, boy. Um, but I was just curious because like you bring a scholar, you can imminence a couple things, and then
Yeah,
you burst. How viable do you think it would be? Like I still think melee will be.
melee will be
I think it.
king for sure.
I think it would be viable for lesser geared players.
Mhm. If
But
you
although at that argument, you could just say, why not do 119?
Yeah, if you have like a scholar and maybe one person meleeing and a black mage, I think that could be a lot of fun. Just low manning, nuking stuff.
Well, like
Possibly, yeah.
from a I want to have fun perspective, from a I want to get more master levels perspective, I'm sure people will want to bring their black mage.
Yeah. Now you have me wanting to bring my black mage now. Like I want to do this now.
Maybe as silly as it sounds, you're not going to nuke and you're just going to do cataclysm.
Maybe. Yeah. I remember
That could work.
seeing 70,000 damage Earth Crushers in Crawler's Nest ages ago,
Yeah.
so bring back
Well,
that.
it's worth noting. I don't know if we said this, but AOE's are not viable in
Mm,
here. They
it's
do.
true.
They're nerfed by 99%.
Yes,
Yeah, so it's like
and
double digits.
Cruel Joke is also not viable.
They learned
They
their
just
lesson,
completely
unfortunately.
resist, yeah. But otherwise, the content seems accessible, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Uh, Day one, I was a little salty that it wasn't more complicated. It
Hmm.
was just like run through and kill stuff, and it was kind of basic. But it's growing on me, especially now that you have less time commitment. You don't have to kill as much per floor. It
Yeah.
seems less of a clusterfuck, and everyone kind of knows what they're doing.
Hmm.
Just going in and like pinpointing, hey, we got to kill 5 mobs, 6 mobs, and then move on.
Yeah,
It's a nice content loop. I'm
I
enjoying it.
agree.
How do you
It,
feel, Shraj?
I I'm happy because it is one of those like easy to get into content. It doesn't have a ton of requirements and it's nice. I wouldn't say it's catch up, but it's nice gear for people who can't do the harder stuff already.
mhm.
And I think it's a really welcoming change because most people on this game are not going to be serious endgame players, you know?
Yeah.
But you can at least give them some stats because Empyrean +3 is not possible for a lot of people. Let's be honest. Like a lot of people will not get the Starstones.
I
Hmm.
They
know a
will
lot of
not be
people
able.
still don't have Starstones and struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will not be able to get the 70,000 galley when they solo like 3k per day. You know.
Yeah. It's true. I
You know
think
what?
it's a really good bridge content. I think it's
Yeah,
like almost the perfect bridge between Vagary and Omen and Swordy and Odyssey.
it's something that's great in tandem with everything else.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think the best thing of this content is the low commitment. Like, if you're a player who is just logging in for your Link Shill event and, I logged in 30 minutes early, I can go solo one of the floors and
Hmm.
be done with that one floor and get the temp item and then go do my event. And then I'm waiting for some friend to get on. I can do another floor. Like, you can
Yeah.
do anything a la carte whenever you want.
And you can go back in and continue right where you left off. It's
Yep.
perfect. I so I do have a theory based on the mechanics that we're seeing for the
Again.
DT, and I think they're introducing the DT by assuming it's 50%, assuming that there's nothing more complicated than that, just 50% DT for the monsters. I think that's going to be their way to circumvent the damage cap and make Aria meaningful and PDL meaningful.
See, I
PDL is
don't
great.
like that to some extent
Really?
because look at this is a bit more like not complicated, but it's a bit like deeper than it sounds. But
Hmm.
skill chains get heavily affected by the 50% DT.
Yeah, they do.
And some of the enemies, I noticed this before with Sahagins, they
Hmm.
have a TP move that gives them shell plus 50%
Mm,
MDT.
okay.
So your magic damage does literally zero damage because they have shell.
Okay.
And the skill chain damage really suffers unless you do like a multi-step with like, level 2, level 3 skill chains.
Yeah, I think skill chains have been on like the back burner for quite a while. I mean, there's so much content. We talked about this before. So much content that you've been punished for skill chaining lately. So even having a nerfed skill chain, while it's not ideal, um, I don't think it's that bad.
It's not as nerfed as some people are claiming on the
Hmm.
forums. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But like level 1 skill chains, there's almost no use to doing them. I was
Yeah.
doing on Beastmaster. I hit a 30,000 blitz
Hmm.
into another one, another blitz. And even though I closed for a 30,000 blitz, I only had like a 3k fusion,
Mm, okay.
which that should not happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
Like,
when I did my True Flight stuff on Ranger. I've got a screenshot of it in the Discord. Did a 90k True Flight into a 75k light, which felt
yeah, that's
weird at
nice.
the time, but I mean, I'll still take it. I'm not gonna complain too
Yeah,
much. Overall, I personally think it's a good mechanic. I don't know how I feel about it affecting the skill chains that much, but I am glad that they are doing something to rework the way things work. Because everybody complains about hitting 99k. They're like, what's the point of new gear if we can just hit 99k already? Well, now there is a point, right?
I agree. Yeah, it is good.
Take into the fact that black mages are going to be breaking damage cap effectively. They're going to be doing, 50 to 80k magic bursts, I would expect.
Yeah,
I think it's reasonable for magic to be nerfed in some ways.
Being able to do like when everyone else is doing 30, 40k weapon skills,
Hmm.
now being able to do more than that is very significant.
Yeah, I
I
I
agree.
really
It
want to
really
bring
is a
Black
good
Mage
thing.
out and test it now because I want to see how that works.
I don't
But
know
yeah, it
if
just
per
mm,
se the 50 DT on everything is a nice like band-aid solution to
Mhm.
content going forward, but I do like that they're exploring options to make the damage numbers more viable, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean they're not going to rework the code. There's no way they're gonna. I'd be. Well, let me rephrase that. I would be shocked if we logged in one day and you could suddenly just break damage cap.
I don't think they know how to do that.
So I'm perfectly fine with other solutions like this being the new mechanic.
Me too.
Cool. Boys, that's all I have. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about before we kind of start to?
Boobs.
Hell yeah. Um, Shirash, you've never seen one of those, so you don't have anything to
Do you
contribute.
want to show me?
All right.
He was saying some sauce stuff earlier.
I believe it.
You can't say anything
There's
about that.
look, there's a reason Shirash has a DGen channel. Okay.
Oh yeah, I do, don't I? I got
Yeah.
given that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I need to use it more.
I don't know how I ended up doing a podcast with two guys that I know that both have DGen channels committed to themselves.
Well, you have a DGen channel too. You just don't know it.
I just don't know it. Oh no. Okay. But yeah, that's all I got. I overall thoughts. I love Limbus so far. I'm looking forward to them adding some varying difficulty to it in the form of NMs, whether that is spawning a different area to fight bosses or roaming NMs. I'm open to any of it. I just want like a mix up in the flavor once that comes in.
the fact that it's this balanced on release and it's like wave 1 of drops for the content is very exciting.
Yeah.
I think everyone should look forward to more. I think people should stop being boohoo naysayers about every little detail.
Yeah. I
New
think
content
Could I
good.
is doing amazing. What's up, Josh?
could I point something out real quick that I think a lot of people have either overlooked or just not paid attention to?
Sure.
There's not that much lag in the areas.
There's not. I've seen some people suffering from lag. That has not been my experience.
Like I can pull the entire central terminus floor,
Mhm.
and I will have minimal lag. I will have the lag that you expect when you pull every single enemy.
Yeah, and don't you have
But
like 15,000 ping all the time because you're in
yeah,
like
I,
you're
I
in
have
Antarctica or
300.
something?
Yeah, I have like 300 base ping. Yeah, and like I don't have any packet loss like I have in Odyssey. I don't
Mhm.
have anything like that. It's smooth as fuck. It's great.
Hell yeah.
I
I've been
think it has
enjoying
something
it.
to do with the fact that these zones, like, there is the maps, like, what are they called? Rumet and the other one, and
Mhm.
they're clones of that. Or do you think it's like the Apollyon zone doesn't exist anymore, and they have so many layered instances of it? They just removed all the layers, and now you don't have to like
Mm,
point reference to all those different layers because there's only one open map.
yeah.
Who knows?
The older zones could just be built more when they had more resources.
That's true
Yeah.
too. I'm not like deep into the map science. I know some
Yeah,
people
I
are.
don't know anything about it, but I'm just
I just know
purely
I don't
speculating.
lag, and it's great.
Yeah.
It's
I
kind of
think
like
I
this
love
when you
is
it.
do
the
a high tier battle, and people are like, "Yeah, there's 4 instances of that map, and you're taking up all the zones." And I don't know any of that shit.
Hell yeah. But
It would make
overall,
sense though. If they remove the instance aspect of it, and there's
mhm,
less maps that they're like loading in the game at one time, then it would be better for lag. Could see that.
yeah. I hope they keep it up. I'm sure they will. I am curious when the next installment is going to come. I'm sure it's probably going to be a while, maybe several months.
I would say
Hope
2-3 months.
two,
Yeah.
3 months. Yeah, I think that'd be reasonable. How long for Sortie? How long was it between the initial release and Basement? Was it 6 months?
Like half a year, yeah.
Uh,
I want to say.
Okay, I could see that to give people time to farm their. When listen, guys, when they release +5, +6, and +7, they're gonna give everybody plenty of time to upgrade their +4. Okay, that's my
Yikes!
expectation. Is when I log in 2045 to my +8 artifact gear,
You're huffing the cope.
um, and and then find out in 2046 they're gonna release +4 Empyrean, then I'll be really excited.
Okay, I'll do you one better. If
Hmm.
we're getting that streamlined path of upgrades, we're gonna get that +8 relic gear.
Hmm.
And I want my +3, +4, +5 Odyssey gear.
Jesus Christ.
Let's go back.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm okay with that line of progression because it eases the workload that the devs have to do and it still gives us new stuff to work towards.
As long as there's enough variety, then I
Hmm.
totally agree.
Yeah. But I mean
They can build
there's
on the old things like scaffolding and just
yeah,
keep working on that shit.
there's so
As long
much
as there's
more they
enough.
could redo too. What if they literally just rebuilt sea and sky as it was at higher levels? Could be almost identical to what it was. Maybe streamline it a little bit more. Make
don't
it
say
not so
that.
convoluted. There's so much content they could redo. They could redo Abyssia. They
Do
could
we really
redo
need to fight Absolute Virtue a third time?
yes.
We fought
Not
Aegis,
only
and we
I
fought
wanna
Order of
I wanna relive the 30-hour tumult curator attempt. Okay, I want to
you weren't there.
be. I wasn't there, but I
Doesn't
want
it?
to relive
It
it.
respawns after 30 minutes, bro.
Well, yeah, but now he does. But they changed it to 2 hours after the 30-hour attempt originally.
I actually think the time limits
Mhm.
on the fights makes the fights actually harder than
Yeah.
what it used to be.
Well, not the first
Because
time.
Well,
yeah,
to define hard. Like we're getting into the weeds a little bit, but like Back
So-
then, it was like just keep the guy alive, and we're not actually doing any damage. We're just holding, and they don't know.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
to.
but you would have like DOTs just chipping away for like 10 hours or some shit.
There wasn't like a
Mm.
difficulty aspect. It was just like we're just struggling to hold it, and that's all we're really doing.
Look, we can rotate tanks out for a week while Dia kills the thing.
Some people,
Yeah, and like now it's you're forced to engage, you're forced to press because of the time limit.
Mm-hmm.
as much as we want this game to be better, and as much as we wish that there were more devs, things happened more often, we got larger content drops, XYZ. You have to give it up to the devs. Like, they're doing really good work.
Yeah.
It just come out as often as you'd want it.
Yeah. I'm thrilled with this. Again,
I don't know why it's looking good.
what's that?
So the reason why the content has been looking good so far
Mhm.
is because the devs themselves have seen the future in Fujito's forehead. They
Mm,
know the path that
Mhm.
game's gonna go down if they
Interesting.
go down this route.
They just read the lines and they just
Exactly.
yeah.
They know exactly what's gonna go wrong so they
Mhm.
can fix it.
I did remember reading something that Matsui was much more of a hardcore. He wanted to challenge like 6-man parties to their ultimate limit, and the new guy, I forget his name. 'Cause
Fujita.
So is Matsui who I have to blame for August?
Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Fujito. I heard that he's much more interested in streamlining new player experience and that kind
Yeah. So
of.
far,
So they
he's
devs
delivered
have
on that.
different. The game director
Yeah.
has a different approach, and he's going to guide the devs to do what he wants.
Mhm.
So
To answer a question in the chat that we got, McDougal, the shiny question mark is not 24 hours. We've already confirmed it.
are you saying you can get a new one every 24 or it moves every 24? I think it's neither, right?
It is neither. We think it's a week. It moved after the update, but that's to be expected. But you still couldn't get extra points after the update. So 24 hours later, checked it again. It hadn't moved, and you don't get extra points.
We've definitely seen both zones, the question mark be in different locations, and
Yes.
the second click doesn't do anything.
Yes.
Now
So
it might move every couple of days. We
Mhm.
don't know.
yeah, whether
That
it's 3 days or a week, that'd be great. But
I think it's the kind of thing that's it finds a random location and you're meant to talk to your link shell or tell friends, hey, it's here this time.
Mhm.
And that kind of makes the content less boring because there's a new variable. Go out and find the thing.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like it as well. An extra 3 points or 3,000 points is what, a little less than 10%, maybe like 7.5% of the total that you can get for the week. So
It's a healthy chunk.
Actually, it is. I don't know.
6.75 or some shit like that. I don't know. I'm no math. All right. That's all I got, guys. You good to wrap it up?
Hell yeah,
I
buddy.
don't like that. I'm ending the episode.
I'm ending it.